And here we are, motorhomes under 30 feet. This one right here is amazing, folks. If you're looking for something to travel in, the 19 CM is an excellent option. This one right here is the Coleman from Thor Motor Coach. And as you can see, it's built to travel. Not just for, a couple, like a lot of small motorhomes, but you can have 7 people ride in this one all safely with seatbelts. Now, granted, you can't sleep that many people, but the fact that you can ride 7 in a motorhome that is only 20 foot long is phenomenal. This one is new to the market. It's a little bit older floor plan, but they brought it back. They made a few changes, kind of reinvented it, and I, for one, really enjoy it. We'll start off right over here, because this is one of those things that kind of throw people for a loop, and that's the fact it has a wet bath. If you're not familiar with the wet bath, essentially what it is your toilet, sink, and shower all in one. If you've ever seen a truck camper, you're probably pretty familiar with this, because this is what setup most truck campers have, simply because it is space efficient. You can see there that you have your hand wand, you have the sink, the medicine cabinet, the toilet, everything is all built into this little area. And it does work. As far as, size, I'm 6 foot tall. I'll take a step in here and look at this, right? Even without that skylight, folks, I can fully stand in here. With that skylight, you can be, probably 6'4", and still be able to stand up in here and shower, which is pretty great. And as far as seating space, and again, I know it kind of weirds people out because it's the shower space, but I still have plenty of room. I have a sink in here. I know that sometimes people get a little weird, if you have to go out and wash your hands in the kitchen sink, and I can understand that. But I have a sink right there. My toilet paper is covered so it's not getting wet. And I have a shower curtain right here to protect the door, vent fan right in there to dry everything out. If you've never used a wet bath, I'm telling you, but once you get used to it, it's not as weird as you think. And in a motorhome like this, I think it makes perfect sense. Take a look at the back is our kitchen. You have this nice laminate countertop right here. And then with that, we'll open this up. You'll see your 2-burner cooktop that is recessed with the glass cover. That way you get some prep space. Again, we're in a smaller RV, so we don't have a ton of room. So this will be the majority of your prep space. You have a little bit more kitchen space right under here, right over there. And underneath the cabinets is an electrical outlet. So you have a spot for a coffee maker there. They did give you a big sink. I think they did a good job with the round sink. Because if it would have been, your standard like double bowl, the other bowl would be way over here, and honestly, it'd be almost useless. I'd much rather have the countertop space. So I think that was a good choice. High-rise faucet, window back there too. Plenty of storage underneath. When we take a look, you can see there's some under the sink. Plus, you have 2 full extension ball bearing drawers there, and some additional storage right there. So pretty good storage all throughout the bottom of the kitchen, plus storage all across the top right here. You have the hood. Now over to the side, again, this is a condensed floor plan, so you kind of have to pack things in. So this is where your main wardrobe will be. There's a hanging rod right there, so if you need to hang anything up, that'll be the place to do it. And you can see that, you do get pretty decent wardrobe space. Plus you have 2 additional drawers right underneath that, so, probably socks, undies, whatever else you need to toss in there. And again, I know it's kind of weird that it's close to the kitchen, but in this floor plan, it's designed to travel with as many people as possible. And so that's what they set up. Now, even if you only have 2 people or just one person, maybe you're going solo, you want to, travel the world and see the U.S., this is a great motorhome to do it in. Now, there are other options out there too, of course. If you want something a little bit bigger, you want something with a little more separation between the kitchen and your wardrobe, that's certainly something we can help you out with. All you have to do is give us a call at 877-297-8725 or text FRESH, F-R-E-S-H, to 46642. So because we have over 20,000 units currently on the lot, another 80,000 coming in, and I'm telling you folks, we have all sorts of Class Cs, a ton of options. We'll go over a couple this segment, a couple a little bit later. We have some Jaycos coming up, so we'll get to take a look at those too, and maybe one of those will spark your interest. And again, you can simply text FRESH, and that will lock in your show pricing. If we take a look over to the side here, you see good storage up top. Take a look at that, strut supported right there. Nice big window right underneath, so that way, any passengers that are riding right here in the dinette are able to see out. You have 4 seat belts, in the dinette itself. And that's really cool, because a lot of times you only have 2 seat belts, for 2 riders, but you can have 4 riders here, plus cup holders there. The table drops down into a bed if you need that additional sleeping space. You'll also see right here, for a safety latch, if you have a car seat, you can have a car seat riding here too. I know more and more people are starting to, learn the beauties of RV travel. You know, here at Camping World, we've known for a long time that this is one of the best, safest ways to travel and make memories with the family. But a lot more people are starting to figure that out. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe you're new to the industry. So as you can see here, you can have a car seat here and be able to take your children with you. And with that, if you are new to the industry, you know, one thing that I do want to mention, and you'll hear Chris mention this too, it's kind of a little secret on the inside, right? And that's that people think like an RV season is from like March to August or September, but that's not necessarily the case. All of your, excuse me, your experienced RVers, people that have been RVing for a while, they're shopping now, right? Because now is the time to buy. And we know this because our retail sales go through the roof, right? And the reason for that is if you wait, like let's say you have a big trip planned on July 4th or Memorial Day, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get it right before then. Folks, you're not going to get it. It'll be gone. Right now is the time to buy. And that's the awesome thing about having this sales event is that, you know, we have excellent sales going on. And we talked about it, you know, in our last Ultimate RV show that, you know, inventory is going to be gone. And we weren't wrong, right? Inventory's been cleared out. Now we have 80,000 units coming in. But guess what? With the popularity we've been seeing, the increase, those are going to be gone too. So you want to make sure that you're able to get your hands and secure something like this guy right here if you plan on doing some travels. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Ian, we have the bathroom in the back, the kitchen, where do you sleep? Right up top in the 19CM, folks, this bed right up here has a 800-pound weight capacity. Now, you know, I'm not a mathematician, I'm a pretty decent-sized guy, but that means you can have two people up here that are 400 pounds. That's pretty darn great. So it's nice and strong, which I really like. You also have a TV that can flip around. If you want to watch it in bed, you can do that, or flip it around so you can watch it right there in the dinette. Of course, driver and passenger seat right up front here. This one is built on the new Ford chassis. Over to the side is that jump seat. You can see right there. Again, another seat belt, and that's where we get our 7th rider there. Last thing I do want to touch on, of course, was your kitchen. The rest of the kitchen, rather, you have the microwave and the fridge right down below that. And then, of course, your furnace will be underneath that, so you do have heat in this coach, as you would expect. The AC will be mounted right up here on the roof. So furnace down below, AC on the roof. And this one does have a generator on board too, which will run this AC as well as that TV right there. So as we take a step outside, speaking of the generator, let's come right out here and we'll take a look at some of our outside features. So let's start up on the front. As I mentioned, this one is on the Ford E350 chassis. It has the new V8 in there. If you haven't driven it, it has more torque than the old engine. So a little bit less horsepower, but more torque. And we're talking about RVing and motorhomes. You want that high torque. 1 for towability and 2 for traveling in the mountains. It'll help you kind of get up the mountains a little bit more. And again, if you're towing anything, you're really going to appreciate the added torque that you get. For storage, you know, it's not a big motorhome, but they did what they could for storage. We'll see that in the back in just a second here. Propane tank, we talk about, you know, being able to have the furnace inside. That propane is what's going to power it, both the furnace and then the cooktop inside there as well. Power awning with LED lights. Touch a button, that guy will roll right out, roll back in. Super simple and easy to use. And again, folks, as I mentioned, you can kind of see the length of this. This thing's only 20 foot long. So if you plan on doing like tailgating, you know, going to other sporting events, maybe your kids are lucky enough to be able to start sports back up and you realize how important it is to you and you want to travel because you want to be there to make sure you're seeing all their games, this is something that's awesome to do it in. You can take the whole family, make a day trip, go see their game, come home, everyone's happy, and at a very reasonable price, folks. For this show, this one's going to be $65,925 is what this one's starting at. That's as low as $13.19 a day. That's a great deal for a motorhome. If you're looking to get in something, get out, start seeing the U.S., go on those sporting events, go to the tailgates, this is an excellent one to do it with. If you need to plug anything in outside, you have the ability to do that. We talked about tailgating. Boom, you want to set up a griddle, right? Start cooking out here. An electric skillet, you can do that with that guy there. Storage is going to be very important. So you'll see some storage right here. This one just folds open. Very easy to get to. You have a bumper on the back, painted bumper, which I like. And then it has these square end caps on it, so you have a space in which you can store your sewer hose. Now, if we drop down below, this is something else I want to show you here because this is a pretty big deal. Folks, this hitch, that's an 8,000-pound hitch. You know, we talk about towing and having that extra torque, and maybe you have like a big trailer, something like that. You want to be able to tow behind you. Maybe you have a car so you can kind of scoot around town if you're going somewhere for just a little while. This 8,000-pound hitch will allow you to do that. Most manufacturers will put on a 5,000. This little Coleman here, we have an 8,000. The cool thing about that too is this is the same engine, the same chassis that you'll find on a lot of larger motorhomes that are, an extra 10 foot longer. So you have all that, the same power on a shorter chassis, weighs less, that 8,000 pound hitch. This one will do a good job. You'll see the 7-way plug right there as well. So if you are pulling a travel trailer behind it, we talked about riding, but it didn't have the sleeping. Imagine this. What if you towed a travel trailer behind it, right? With this motorhome, you get that extra sleeping capacity. You have the riding capacity right here. This is an excellent coach in order to do exactly that. Coming around to the side, we've got your fuel fill right here, nice and easy. 30 amp plug-in will be located there. TV. Take a look right there. We talk about storage. You got a spot for your plug-in. So, if you need shore power, if you have the ability, if you're going to a campsite, that right there will give you the shore power. Now, if you don't have shore power, I have it locked, but that's where your generator will be located right there. So if you need to, get that extra power, you can flip that generator on. It'll power everything inside. Your water connections will be right above that. So, whether you're filling your fresh tank or you have city water, you'll be able to, run the showers, sinks, everything else that you need to inside. Folks, I'm telling you, this is just one of a couple different Class Cs that we have available and on the lot. There's lots of different manufacturers. Coleman here, of course, is a name that is almost synonymous with camping, as my good friend Chris Young likes to say, right? They've been doing it for a very long time. When you think camping, you think Coleman, and I think they did a great job right here on the 19CM. Again, if you're interested in this particular Class C, you'll want to text the word RV to 46642, and that will lock in your pricing on this particular unit. If you're interested in a Class C, maybe a Class A, right? We have some of those to see yet as well. We've seen a couple. You can text the word FRESH, that's RFESH, and that will lock in the show pricing for the entire event. Now, why do we have two different keywords? Because that will help you route, right? One will be routed for this one in particular. The other one will be routed for pretty much anything. So, again, folks, we have a lot more to see and check out. So let's get on to it.